I want everybody to know how proud we are to be up here with Tua today, and certainly thank you all for coming, showing interest in Tua and, our program here at Alabama. Tua has probably had as much of an impact on our program here as any player that we've ever had. And I'm not just talking about as a football player. He's got great character. He's a great leader. He's done a wonderful job in the classroom. There's a spirit about him that has impacted myself and everybody around him in a very, very positive way. He's had great accomplishments on the field, but you probably don't really fully understand the significance of the contributions that he's made off the field with his teammates and the people who are around him every day. An unbelievable positive spirit. He's helped us, continue the streak to 9 of 11 win seasons. He's won a national championship here with his performance. He's won an SEC championship, and he's also helped us to extend the streak of being in the top 10 to 12 seasons. And I don't think his contribution is not appreciated because it's been outstanding. He's on course to graduate. I think he needs like 17 credits or something like that to graduate. I don't think he's ever been in my office one time the whole time he's been here for anything but something that's positive in terms of helping him or helping the rest of our program. I know this has been a very difficult decision for him and his family. Our role in that is not to make a decision, but only to provide all the information that we can, whether it's physical, medical, spiritual, and every way that we can, to help any of our players, make their decision. And I know some of the guys have announced on social media what they're going to do. There'll probably be a couple other announcements forthcoming, but I think it's fitting that a guy that has had such an impact, on our program, on college football, that we have a press conference here today. And with that, I'll turn it over to Tua, and he can announce his decision. Thank you.
Well, good morning. Thank you all for coming today. I've had a difficult time making this decision about my future, but first and foremost, I want to thank my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ for this opportunity to stand before you all with my decision. My love for the University of Alabama, our coaches, our fans, and my teammates has made this especially hard for me. I have had the advice and counsel of my parents, my family, and coaches in going through a thorough analysis of the alternatives. And without further ado, with lots of prayers, thoughts, and guidance, I have decided that I will be declaring and entering the 2020 NFL Draft. My 3 years at the University of Alabama have been the epitome of a roller coaster. I've had a fair share of ups, of many ups and a handful of downs, and I couldn't be happier to know that with all the success and failures I've had here at the university, it has prepared me for life in general. I can't express how grateful I am to have attended the greatest school in college. But the biggest thing I will remember with my time here are the memories that I've made with all my friends, family, and loved ones. I want to honor and thank Coach Saban for allowing me the chance to play for him. I'm forever grateful that I not only got to build a great relationship with someone like him, but I also got to play for him. I'd like to thank Coach Sark and our entire coaching staff for helping me enhance my skills this year. And I'd like to thank Jeff Allen and his athletic training staff for the first-class treatment they've given and shown me and my family. I'd like to thank Josh Maxson and his crew for helping me build my brand here. And to all those behind the scenes that don't get enough credit, thank you, thank you, thank you. I'd like to extend my appreciation also to John Deaver and our academic advisors for the help and support they've given me, and to our AD, Greg Byrne. Thank you for the many talks we've had and for the tremendous support you've given me. To my teammates, thank you for the lifetime worth of memories and lessons. Thank you for the laughs, the love, and all the hard work that came with helping me shape me to be who I am today. I'm going to miss you all from the starting lineup to the scout team. To Bama Nation, I'd just like to thank you all for tremendous 3 years of support, that you've given me and my family, and thank you for taking our family in as your own. To my parents, thank you for giving me everything. Thank you for everything, and thank you guys for instilling everything you had in me, and thank you for your continuous love, support, and especially prayers. I'd like to thank my family and everyone who's been involved in this process. Like I've heard my parents say many times, it takes a village to raise a child, so thank you all. As I wrap things up, there will still be a Tagovailoa here playing football, and it's my little brother Talia. And I plan to stay close to the university and always be a part of the Alabama family. So I'd like to leave you all with this. From one of my favorite Tim McGraw songs, when you get where you're going, don't forget, turn back around and help the next one in line. Always stay humble and kind. Thank you all so much. God bless and Roll Tide.
Thanks, Stu. At this time, Coach is going to dismiss, and Stu is going to take some questions. Alex is going to run that for you.
Raise your hands like you do. First, with Cecil back there in the corner.
Congratulations, Tua. And what's the next step for you now in terms of rehab, in terms of meeting with teams? Have you thought that out yet?
Yeah, well, I'm just focusing on my rehab as far as now, with all the teams, and deciding if I'm going to do anything physically. We'll decide that with our athletic training staff, and then with what the doctors have to say about that.
So are you going to stay here to rehab at least for the foreseeable future?
Yeah. Yes.
Up front here with Chris.
Was there one thing that was the deciding factor in this decision?
No, it was just a hard decision all around. Just taking into consideration the pros and cons for both sides of the situation, and of the decision. And I got to seek guidance from my family. We prayed a lot about it, and this is a decision that I'm gonna have to live with, and so I made it, and I'm good with it.
Over here in the middle with Al.
To it, you went to New York this weekend to kind of get an evaluation. What kind of feedback did you hear from doctors there, and what did that kind of tell you about the foreseeable future?
Well, I don't think any of the doctors can tell, the foreseeable future. None of the guys rehabbing me can tell that. From what they've seen, in New York, everything looks good, but you can't really tell until the 3-month mark or the 4-month mark, So that's the gauge on all that.
Over here on the left with John.
Another feedback question. What did you hear from NFL types, NFL teams, executives, scouts, whatever, about, because it's kind of a unique situation to be in?
Yeah, it's a unique situation for sure. With my hip, a lot of the guys, the general managers, the owners that I've got to talk to, kind of said the same thing. They kind of look at this injury as like a knee injury almost, although it's not. In a way that, okay, are we going to take a chance on this guy, or would he be able to, possibly do a pro day before the draft and whatnot? And really the biggest thing they want to do is just see that we can, move, and we can just be back to how we were playing prior to the injury.
Over here on the side with Tony.
How much, if at all, did you get to talk to the fellow juniors in your class, and what did you say to them?
Yeah, we all got to talk. A lot of their decisions were based off, whether they played good in this past game or not. But we all pretty much knew what everyone was going to do, kind of prior to the game, but it wasn't set. And they don't. A lot of guys in my class, we don't have to share any of that information, But a lot of them have made their decisions pretty clear, up to this point. So.
In the middle with Michael.
Now that you're leaving, what are your thoughts on the quarterback competition that'll be coming in the fall?
Yeah, it'll be good. I'm looking forward to it. They got another guy coming in, Bryce Young. You know, he looked really good at his All-American game. I mean, if you love competition, you know, now's the best time for it, you know, for Mac Jones, for my little brother, and for that Bryce Young, the incoming freshman. So.
Tua, you talked about the decision and the announcement, but now this is where you motivate, you challenge yourself, you test your heart. How gratifying is it now to be on your shoulders to make or break the next step?
Well, you know, these kind of things don't really take the doctors. They don't really take myself. It pretty much boils down to one thing, and I think that's faith. You know, it boils down to that. And coming from a family that has a lot of it, you know, I'm definitely willing to take that challenge.
Back here with Chase.
Tua, was the supplemental draft in the summer part of your consideration process?
No, it wasn't. It wasn't. I mean, if that was part of my process, I probably would have just said I was going to stay here at the University of Alabama. So it wasn't really a thought.
Middle here with Jones.
Tua, first off, congratulations on the incredible career.
Thank you.
Could you explain more how faith went into this decision that you decided to make?
Yeah, well, you know, we seek guidance from, you know, a good amount of pastors. You know, my dad is really good friends with Pastor Chris, Church of the Highlands. I got to seek counsel from, you know, our pastors back home, and then also Pastor Perry Stone. So, I mean, you know, they pretty much all had the same thing, you know, follow your heart. And then they also had, you know, stories to kind of align with what they were trying to share with me too. So.
Back here with Ryan.
You mentioned talking to NFL general managers. Do you have an estimate how many you spoke with?
Probably too many. There's just a good amount, you know. So.
Anyone else have any questions? Middle here with Alex.
You mentioned about how difficult this decision was.
Mm-hmm.
Just how late in this process were you kind of going back and forth, and was there like a day, whether it was last Friday after the doctor visit or what, that you decided you made the decision final?
Yeah, it was a really hard decision. I mean, you know, going through my rehab and then, you know, with my parents, talking to my parents about it, I mean, it's been tough. You know, I have been going back and forth, you know, because, I mean, some things make sense, some others don't. I mean, I just had to factor in a lot of things, you know, as to why I should either stay or why I should leave. But, I mean, we set a date just so we could kind of get everything over with, and we're not, you know, continue to play the, okay, you know, but if I do stay, you know, this could happen. But if I do go, this could happen. So now that it's done, I mean, don't got to worry about it too much anymore.
Over here with John.
Do you, from everything you've heard and everything you believe, do you feel like you'll be a pretty high first round pick, and would you have gone if you didn't expect that?
Yeah, I don't think I can tell you that. I don't think any of the teams can tell you that. You know, it really depends on, you know, how the doctors report goes, you know, with my MRI, my x-rays at the 3-month mark. But then again, I think, you know, what factors into this decision too was, you know, our faith. And I mean, it's a leap of it.
And you follow up, you mentioned this is a roller coaster ride for a young guy from Hawaii to come in and kind of accomplish what you did at Alabama. How would you describe that and just the transition you had culturally, football-wise, everything becoming such a big name?
Yeah, well, culturally, it was different, you know. Like I said, probably my freshman year and my sophomore year, you know, culturally, they just fry everything over here, you know. So it's like it's different. You know, I'd say it's been a roller coaster because I've got to see the spectrum of both sides, having a lot of success, you know, winning a national championship, losing a national championship, going through adversity, you know, coming back from it, continuing to go through it. So it's just been, you know, a mixture of emotions. But, I mean, you know, for me, I think coming to a place like this has helped me, you know, has helped set me up to be in the best position to become successful later in life, too.
All right, two more. Chris Walsh and then Michael.
Just to follow up on that, how are you emotionally right now? I mean, are you happy, overwhelmed, scared?
Yeah, I don't know how I feel right now. Yeah, I'm content with the decision that I've made. You know, it's more so what's next. That's kind of what I'm thinking of, like what's next with this process.
All right, Matt, over here.
Two quick questions for you. So first of all, how much did you meet with Coach Saban over the course of the last couple of days here?
Yeah, I met with him a lot, probably 5 times, you know, within this past week. So it's been pretty good.
So based on the updated feedback that you've gotten, are you expecting right now to be ready for the start of football season, be able to play at that point? Are you optimistic about that?
About playing football?
Yeah, about being available to play at the beginning of football season.
Yeah, I mean, I'm optimistic that I'll be able to play, you know, this upcoming season. But you know, I think for me right now, you know, I'm more so worried about, you know, getting better as soon as possible, see what I can do, you know, if I can do a pro day, if I can't do a pro day. I mean, and then, you know, it's really all dependent on what the doctors, you know, have to say to the teams and, you know, what the results come back in as.
Last one here in the middle of Michael.
I know you said you went back and forth on your decision. Was there any point where you had made up your mind and you were going to come back and change that decision?
Well, I mean, seeking guidance from my family, you know, my parents. I mean, we've had a lot of family talks, you know, about this, and I mean, I think this is the best thing for me and my family to do. So that's why I made the decision. All right, thank you guys. One last time, God bless, Road Tide.
Andrews Sports Medicine, aggressively pursuing victory over injury. Call 205-939-3699.